about sexual impurity, thinking about the forbidden women, forbidden man. That has lots of implications. This is not just about adultery per se. It talks about the strange woman. So someone who's foreign to you shouldn't be yours. It's not your person, not your property, not your spouse, not yours to do anything with. Okay, this is someone else's, or no one else's except for the Lord's. But this is not your person to do anything with, sexually at all. So the warning here is take heed lest ye fall. Because look, how many times, Solomon warns at the beginning, then he warns in the middle. These warnings are given by Solomon, who failed. He himself failed to heed his own warnings. His wives pulled his heart away from God. He was brought to utter destruction. This is exactly what happened. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Some commentators speculated that maybe Solomon wrote this towards the end of his life. And then he wrote it about the fact that this is what happened to me. These are his words. Like, maybe how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Some people say that was the confession at the end of his life, which hopefully it is. And maybe it's not, but if that's the case, then he warned himself again. His heart was pulled away, the Bible tells us, by his wives who were idolatrous women. And these idolatrous women who really should have been forbidden to him because they're not believers in the Lord. They were believers in idols and demons. They worshiped demons. And he was pulled away into at least building high places for them and then offering sacrifices to these things. It doesn't make sense. But his father David committed adultery and murdered the woman's husband. So you see this kind of temptation to sexual immorality is there. So we must not pretend that we're above sexual immorality, that it can't get to us. Like, oh, I don't have any problem with that. I see it all the time. People say that. It's like, well, I'm not even attracted to that person. Well, there's a problem too, because you can go the other way too. So, but we must guard our path. We can't pretend that we can't be reached by it, that we can't be touched by it. We must guard our paths, even if we're eunuchs or eunuchs made by hands or whatever that the Bible talks about. Some people are, Paul talks about that. Some people are eunuchs for God. Some people are made by eunuchs by hand. Some people are just eunuchs by nature. That's cool. But still, sexual morality is still there. Even if you don't have attraction, sexual desires at all, it's still, even that you can be tempted through. So there's a problem there. But we should never, especially those who do have sexual desire, which is the majority of people, like Paul talks about. There's only, certain people that don't have that. Most people do because that's how God created us. And some people may be made that way by the Lord, which was Paul's probably story. But we can't pretend that we're above it. We can't be touched by it. We have to guard our past. That's the warning here. Fix our eyes straight ahead and don't get distracted by these things that are on either side. We got to go straight ahead. Second thing I want to point out is sexual immorality only leads to regret and pain. Do not try to justify it. Don't ever say, God wants me to be happy. I deserve to be happy. People use that excuse all the time for sexual immorality, for adultery. Well, God, I wasn't happy in this marriage. God wants me to be happy, and so I can do this. No, it's sexual immorality. God doesn't want you to commit sexual immorality. Don't justify what you're doing. God never said he wanted you to be happy. Do you see that? He gives you blessings. He gives you good things. He doesn't want you to be happy here on this earth. This earth was corrupted by our sin, so we shouldn't be happy about, that stuff. He doesn't want you to be happy all the time. Like, his ultimate goal is not your happiness, but your holiness. In heaven, you get both. But here, it's all about holiness, which is really, truly your happiness. But sometimes you're happy because of sin. And so that's what you're saying. Well, God wants me to sin because he wants me to be happy. Well, that's a problem. He doesn't want that. So that path leads to death. That's what it says. Death and Sheol, the grave. to hell. That's where you're going. God didn't say He wants your happiness over your holiness. He wants your holiness. You could be happy. You can be happy. He wants you to be joyful, but you have to be joyful in your holiness, not joyful in your sin. So, you got to keep that in perspective. And then number 3, if you are involved in sexual immorality, whatever it might be, choose this day to turn from it. Choose the other path. For the one that you're on will only lead to your own destruction. That's it. That is it. Guaranteed. You want to get to this place now where it says, you know what, I hated, you want this. If you're involved in it right now, you want to be the one who's saying this quote, I hated discipline. My heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Say that, right? Say that to the church. Like, I hated discipline. I hated those words that told me I was wrong. I hated those who told me I was wrong. And I'm at the end right now. I'm going to be destroyed if I don't change. Help me. It's humiliating. I get that. But that will save your life. That will save your life. That's what you need to say. That is a confession right there of sin and the cry for help. That's what you need to do. Do it today. Don't wait, because tomorrow this temptation will come again. You go out, 30 minutes from now, temptation again. That person's calling you on the phone. Hey, you want to go out tonight? Block. I can't do anything with you. Sorry, we're done. I've been wrong. I shouldn't have done what I did. I can't see you again. Done. Leave it behind. Run. Be afraid if that comes back. Don't ever go back. Don't ever go back. So that's the end of our study. We're going to get into this more. We'll have next time we'll talk about the remedy that God provides, that Solomon tells us about for the temptation of sexual immorality. What should we be doing? And then we'll take a break from this idea of sexual impurity for a while, and then we'll get back to it when we get into chapter 6 too. And then 7 is the same thing. So we're not done with this topic. We're going to come back to it, spend some more time investigating it, talking about it, looking at the temptation a little more detail. Solomon gets into that. But for right now, we're done for this week. So next time we'll look at the remedy, which he gives right away for the sexual immorality and how we should avoid that. So come back next week, and that's going to be it. Proverbs 5, starting in verse